Hi, my name is Brielle and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be talking about Insecure Season 4, Episode 2, so let's get into it. So is it just me or was this episode a snoozer? Like, this episode, it was cool, but it wasn't as good as the first one and it wasn't as good as we know it could be. But whatever, I'm gonna give it a chance. Plus I had a couple shots and I have a glass of wine, so we're gonna make the best of it, okay? So the episode opens up with Molly and Andrew leaving dinner, and Molly's wearing this really cute lime green dress with these two cutouts, and I'm like, I've seen this dress before, but I think like just online. I don't know if it's ASOS or something, but the dress is really, really cute. Maybe I just saw a replica. Either way, the dress was cute. Molly was looking good. But basically they're leaving dinner, and she's talking to Andrew, and he's like, hold on, I got a call. So he said, oh, it's work, let me just take this over here. So he takes the call. When he hangs up, he looks kind of upset and bothered, and Molly's just like, what's going on? What's wrong? And he's like, oh, like I just lost this really big, and stops, cuts mid-sentence, and Molly's just like, you could tell me what's going on. And Andrew's just like, no, it's okay. Let's talk about this cake I'm about to get. I'm worried about this cake. Something like that. He trying to get them buns, okay? He ready for dessert. And Molly's just like, oh, but who said I'm sharing? Molly, you said you were sharing, because next thing we know, her and Andrew are getting it popping, and Molly was full-blown enjoying it. And I'm just like, Andrew, okay, all right. So then now it's 3 months before Issa's block party, and we see her and Condola out looking at, the area that Issa plans on having a block party, and she's just showing she's just showing Condola the setup. I had a dance with right here. This is where we're gonna have the vendors right here, and Condola is loving it. They're really, they're getting along a lot better than we saw the last episode. They're basically trying to fill in the gaps, not make it so awkward, and it seems like they're back on their normal terms. And they end up just talking. Issa's asking Condola, what are you doing for the weekend? And Condola's telling her oh, I'm going to so-and-so, some romantic place. And Issa was like, oh, romantic. Issa stops herself oh, okay, so Issa knows, oh, you must be going with Lawrence. And Condola's like, yeah, I'm going with Lawrence, and this is new. And Issa's like, no, don't worry. They just kind of just trying to not make it so awkward. So then they just start talking about Lawrence. And, just making a little fun of Lawrence, making little jokes. And Issa's like, oh, yeah, did you find out something? He put mayonnaise on his fries. Ew, do y'all put mayonnaise on y'all fries? I really will admit, I don't like ketchup. I hate ketchup. So I had this little phase, I was putting mustard on my french fries. Now, I just go plain, or might throw a little hot sauce, a little ranch, but mayonnaise though? But I'm not passing no judgment, because I know I just don't like ketchup myself. But, they just start, I guess, to fill the void, to not make it awkward, they talk about Lawrence, and they're still getting along, and they're still hitting it off. So they're finding common ground, and they're common ground as if they needed it. They didn't really need it because they were getting along, but they just make fun of Lawrence just so it's not as awkward as it could be. Okay, so next we see, it looks like they're at Tiffany's house, and it must be Halloween because they're all in costume. And you have Kelly as Halle Berry and Babs. I'm talking full orange leather outfit, blonde hair and everything. We have Molly, who's dressed as, I'm gonna just say Gabrielle Union from I'm about to say Gotta Kick It Up. Now y'all know that was not no Gotta Kick It Up. Bring It On. And Tiffany, who was still pregnant. Who was Tiffany? Tiffany was dressed as Cleopatra. And maybe I'm too young. Maybe Issa's costume just wasn't that good. But what was Issa? I don't know what Issa was. Somebody drop in the comments and please tell me what was Issa's costume. And I bet when I read them, be like, oh, that's what she was. But watching, I was like, what is Issa supposed to be? But anyway, so they all sitting in Tiffany's living room, and Tiffany must be giving the kids toothbrushes, and what's her name? Kelly ended up taking the toothbrush and throwing it out, talking to them, this is what the kids gonna do. Now Tiffany, don't nobody want no toothbrush for no Halloween trick or treat. I remember when I used to trick or treat, there was this house that used to give out Bibles, and that, Lord forgive me, I'm not saying something wrong with giving out Bibles, but we did not want any Bibles as children. And it was this one family, this house, they were giving out apples. We did not want apples. We did get popcorn balls, and that was the one non-candy item that I was actually hyped to get. I was trading candy for the popcorn balls. But don't give me no toothbrush. Don't give me no Bible. Don't give me no apple. You don't want that. But anyway, so they're just sitting there, sitting around having girl talk. And they end up asking Molly, like, well, how's Asian Babe? What's going on? Like, how's everything? And Molly ends up sharing that her and Asian Babe end up having sex. And it was, it was good. Like, she was like, okay, Andrew was really working with something. I was like, okay, that's nice. But she just ends up saying, like, it's just not as serious as she would like it to be. Like, it's all S's and G's, but she just wants more. And Issa's like, wait, so he makes you laugh and he's D'ing you down. Like, what's wrong with that? And Molly's like, like, I just want more than that. And Tiffany agrees with her, like, yeah, well, if you want more, if you have feelings, you should tell him, you should be honest. And Kelly was like, y'all know Kelly. Kelly is down for a good time. So Kelly don't care who you are, what you doing, as long as you screwing her, she cool with it. So Molly's just a little conflicted, just like, well, I don't know, and Drew, and just saying how, like, Drew, they don't have in-depth conversations. And that's one thing that I could agree on. Like, when you can't connect with somebody, like, y'all don't have in-depth conversations, at least for me personally. Like, if I can't sit and talk to you and have deep conversations or, like, meaningful conversations, not even just about us personally, just about, like, in general, like, I'm the type who will sit there and we eat and I might ask you about religion or politics or the world or animal rights, civil rights. So if I feel like I can't have those in-depths or I'm only having surface level conversations, like, that turns me off. So I guess, like, I understood that with Molly, but it seemed like she just, like, was expecting a little more from Andrew. But we do also know that last episode, it was all fine and dandy until she found out that Drew was seeing other people. Now she wanted a little bit more. But okay, Molly, I'm still with you. I'm not going to quite kick you to the curb just yet on your view. So next we see Issa and TSA Bae in the bed getting it popping. And he talking about some squeeze my butt. I'm like, you know what? To each his own. I always say it, we're grown, we're adults. What you choose to do in the bedroom is your business. So who am I to judge? But you talking about squeeze my butt. They, like I said, getting it popping. So when they finish, he rolled over and told Issa, like, well, the condom was on and now it's not. And Issa looking at him like, and I'm looking at Issa like, So next thing you know, Issa's in a bathroom with a mirror and she's looking between her legs, I guess trying to fish the condom out. And like, we see Issa's reflection in the mirror and she's like, I ain't judging you, but I'm disappointed. And I'm watching it like, same, Issa, same, okay? So next we see Molly walking in her office, and if y'all remember last season, she has this new job at a black firm, and her coworkers don't like her as of now. So we see her walking through the office, and she calls up Andrew, and she basically, like, invites him over. Did she invite him over? Yeah, that's when he tells her about a Summer Walker concert, and she ends up inviting him over. And, they just have a little kiki conversation, cool, invites him over, that was it. And did y'all hear her she gonna say, oh, no, get off my phone, something, stop sweating me, bye. Molly, here you go again. Like, she's really big-headed. And I ain't mad because I'm here for a good joke. And, girl, you feel yourself. But, Molly, chill, girl. Chill, okay? But anyway, Molly ends up bumping into her one bald-head coworker. You remember the bald-head man who she was working with him on a project and ended up going behind his back and working with somebody else. And the bald-head boy ended up coming up and saying how he's going to Cabo. And she's like, oh, if you going to Cabo, you should go here. I recommend this place. And he cuts her right off like, girl, and walks away. And he didn't want to hear nothing she had to say. And Molly sitting there looking stupid like, oh, well, I was about to say, Molly, they don't have it out for you. Like, you put a bad taste in their mouth last season when you first started the job, and you could tell that Molly is still not on good terms with her coworkers as of now. So then we see Condola and Lawrence out for lunch at a restaurant, and Lawrence ends up asking the waitress for some mayonnaise for his fries, and Condola ends up laughing. And Lawrence was like, you know, what's so funny? So Condola tells him, like, oh, Issa and I were, like, talking. She was telling me some stuff about you. Like, I didn't know you played track. You, like, managed with your fries. And Lawrence is like, wait, y'all was talking about me? Like, Lawrence getting a little uncomfortable for a second. Like, what were y'all saying about me? And Condola's basically like, you know, like, honestly, we had to bring it up just so it wouldn't be awkward between the two of us. Like, making it a joke just helped it be less awkward, less tension or whatever. And she's like, really, it's not, you know, it's really not like that. Like, so Lawrence is like, okay, sitting there. And Condola's like, well, is that okay? Like, you know, we weren't really talking about you, but was that okay? And Lawrence is like, and we just see him kind of sitting there. And the episode jumps to him and Derek, Tiffany's husband, and the other, you know, the wild homeboy that he got, who I think got a girl, but be messing with all these types of girls, the one who he went to church with last season. Anyway, so he's talking to them like, hell no, I'm not cool with them being friends. Well, hell no, I'm not cool with them being friends and talking about me. Like, what do y'all think? So Derek was like, well, you don't want to look too soft. And the other homeboy is like, well, you should say something to Issa, but you don't want to come off as petty. And Lawrence is like, well, you don't want me to come off as too soft, but not too petty. So what do I do? So the homeboy was like, well, you just need to be upfront with Issa. Like, you just need to say, and basically Lawrence want to tell her, like, keep my name out your mouth. Lawrence, please don't flatter yourself. Like, I guess I get it. If I was in a female's position, if my two male exes were talking about me, then I would be like, hold up. Nah, that's not cool. That's the only reason why I'm giving Lawrence the benefit of the doubt. But Lawrence, you're really putting 20 on 10. Because first of all, you ain't even all that. And Lawrence and Issa ain't say nothing about you in a minute. So that's that. But we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. You're uncomfortable with them talking about you. So cool. I heard you out. You don't like Issa talking about you. You're going to confront her. Okay, fine. So good news is that Issa has Schoolboy Q as her headliner for her block party. And I'm like, okay, Issa. First of all, I love me some Schoolboy Q. I was just listening to him earlier when I was cleaning up. But whatever, Issa has Schoolboy Q, and that's good. And we see her and Condola out for lunch, and they're talking. And Condola's actually packing up. Condola's like, oh, I'll be right back. And while she's away, Molly comes up. And, you know, Molly's like, oh, Condola's gonna stay. Like, I invited Condola to stay with us. And Molly's like, I thought it was gonna be the two of us. And Issa's like, no, well, she said she was hungry. I didn't want to kick her to the curb. Like, you could get to know her. And Molly's like, I don't know her. And I wanted to talk to you. And Issa was like, what is your chance to get to know her? And we see Condola come over. And the three of them, like, do this awkward group hug. But whatever, it was awkward, but it's like, okay, fine. Like, Condola's really sweet. There's no reason for Molly not to like her. And they all sit down and they're you know, they're talking, they're conversing a little bit. And they end up like trying to pick desserts out. You could just tell by Molly's facial expression that she's just a little uncomfortable with the whole thing. Like, she peeping Condola, she peeping Issa. She doesn't really like it, but she don't say nothing. But it's like, okay, like, note to self, Molly, something's brewing. Molly not really feeling this whole Condola and Issa thing. So then we see Lawrence outside of Issa's apartment. And y'all miss their old apartment. Y'all remember the dudes? Anyway, we see Lawrence outside of Issa's apartment. He texts her like, I'm outside. And Issa comes out. And Issa's looking cute, chill but cute. And Issa comes up to him like, what's up, or whatever. And it wasn't super, super awkward between them two. And Lawrence was like, you know, nothing. And basically tells Issa, like, can you really, and not in a rude way, like, can you not really talk about me to Condola? Like, I really want to get to know her. I want her to get to know me on her own. Like, and Issa's like, okay, I feel you. It's cool. Like, the two of them, it's a really cool conversation. Not too much. But we do find out that Lawrence is his middle name and Martin is his first name. And here go Issa, Martin. I'm like, Lawrence, your first name is not Martin. That would have been the first thing I told Condola, like, you know what? His name's not even Lawrence, girl. He's lying. But whatever. That's just being petty. So we see Molly in the kitchen cooking, and Andrew comes up, and she says she's making gumbo, and he has to taste her gumbo, and he's talking about it's too salty. I'm like, first of all, that's embarrassing. Not the Asian boy trying to tell you that your gumbo is too salty. But anyway, Molly gonna say, I'm black, we use salt, and her family, they got diet, what she say, they got high cholesterol, so they'll be fine. Anyway, when he walk away, she gonna taste it and say, oh, well, we just gonna have to die tonight. Which she said something like that, something funny. But anyway, so they're eating dinner, they're eating their gumbo. And, you know, her and Andrew were, well, so next we see Molly in the kitchen. And she's cooking gumbo, and Andrew come up and he's trying to kiss up on her. Molly's like, you know, no, that's not on the menu. Like, let me cook my food. And she tries to give Andrew a little taste. Andrew was like, this is salty. And I was like, that is so embarrassing. Like, not the Asian boy telling you that your food is too salty. Like, and Molly said, I'm black. Like, we season our food. Molly better let him know. Don't try to have Andrew tell you that your food is too salty, over seasoned. But when Molly takes herself, she was like, look, it's just gonna have to be salty tonight. Like, so we see Molly and Andrew at dinner, and, you know, they're eating our food, and Andrew's showing her, or they're showing each other pictures. She's showing him, like, family pictures, and they're just kind of talking about their family. And Andrew starts talking about his sister. Molly asks, like, well, where is she? Andrew's really short, like, well, I don't know where she is. And Molly just, like, you know, basically tells him that she's just frustrated because she feels like he doesn't open up. And Andrew tells her, like, basically, Molly, you gotta find something wrong with everything. Like, what's up with that? So he ended up getting up, talking about he going to the concert, and leaves Molly by herself, looking stupid at the table. And truly, Molly does always find something wrong with everything. So I was with Andrew on that. But in this situation, okay, Andrew, you were being a little reserved. You weren't trying to open up, but I do feel you. Molly does find a problem with everything. So, okay, cool. He left out. He stormed out. Molly calls Issa, and that jumps to Issa in the car. And before that, we see Issa is going to a concert with Condola, and she calls Lawrence, like, I'm going out with Condola. I don't know if you know. Should I say something to her? And Lawrence is like, no. And Issa tries to have a conversation talking about something. So what you doing? Or what you been up to? He was like, we can hang up now. So I'm like, first of all, Issa, don't be letting Lawrence trying to end the conversation on you, okay? Next time you call him, you say what you gotta say, you get off the line. But anyway, so Issa's at a concert with Condola, and so she doesn't answer the phone for Molly, and Issa ends up texting her like, I'm at a show. And that was that. Issa just at a little concert or whatever, and so that was it with them. Then we see Molly at an office meeting, and it's her, bald-head boy, and all the other people in the firm, you know, talking, and it looks like the bald-head man is like working on a project, and they end up asking Molly, does she have something to say about the information that he's gathered? And Molly's like, no, I have nothing to say. So after the meeting, he pulls, you know, he comes to Molly's office, and he's like, well, you ain't have anything to say, like, but I noticed that you've worked with this firm and you've done research, like, why you ain't say nothing? So Molly was like, basically said, I didn't say anything because, like, I didn't want to, basically, she didn't want to step on his toes. Like, she didn't want to seem like she always had something negative to say. And he was like, well, if you know something, you need to speak up. And she was like, well, I just know that given our history, it's going to take some time for us to get back on a good page or get us, you know, to become cool again. So that was that. That little tidbit was like, I guess it'll be important later. But, you know, Molly basically showing that Molly is trying to become cool with her coworkers again. So then we see Molly and Issa. It is self-care Sunday, and they are they're hiking right now. And Molly is Issa just told Molly that they have Schoolboy Q headlining for her block party. And Molly's like, okay, that's cool. And side note, Molly's hair was down. Like, that's a pet peeve of mine. Like, working out with your hair down, like, I know it's a show, but people ain't working out with their hair down. You're not running with your hair down. You're not hiking with your hair down. Especially a black girl. You got a hat on. You got your scarf on. You got a bun in. You got braids in. You're not just hiking with your hair down. But whatever, they threw it in. I guess some people are hiking like that. But they walking. So Molly ends up saying that, like, Andrew just really isn't opening up. And she just really not feeling him. And Issa ends up saying, like, girl, honestly, I feel like you just don't want to be happy. Like, you just always have to find something. Like, there's just always something with you. And Molly looked like she wouldn't get upset by the comment, because knowing Molly, that is something she would get upset by. But her phone ends up ringing, and she tells Issa, like, oh, I'll catch up with you later. So Issa walks a couple steps away, I'll catch up with you later. Issa walked right to the corner where they were walking. But anyway, It's Andrew who calls her. He basically apologizes and it's just like, you know, it's hard for me to let people in. Like, I'm sorry for what I said. And Molly was just like, oh, it's okay. Like, whatever. They sort of kind of make up. And when they hang up, Issa's like, who was that? And Molly was like, oh, it's just work stuff. Why did you lie? I mean, why did you say, girl, it was just Andrew calling to apologize? Like, Molly, you have on your shady boots. Like, these past episodes, you've been wearing your shady boots. And I just want to know, what is all that about? Like, why did you lie and say that it was work and it really was Andrew? Like, why are you hiding something? Do you not want Issa to know? Like, why do you want people to think things are one way with Andrew and they're really another? I don't know, but like I said in my last review, Molly's the type who will tell you a little bit of the story. She'll tell you half the truth. So maybe this is just a part of who she is. But I wasn't really feeling that. Like, what did you have to lie for? What did you gain? And like, not like Issa no, and I don't. That was just weird to me. But girl, Molly just she's proven herself to be weird already. Like, she's on some funny type of time. But Issa ends up saying like, girl, I had to cut off TSA, babe. Molly's like, why? She was like, because like Plan B was becoming Plan A, and she had time for it. Now, Issa, first of all, you're too old to be popping Plan Bs like they're Plan As. Yes, girl, it was definitely time to let TSA go. And the fact that he has 2 kids and 1 on the way, I'm mad at you for even messing with him. I'm disappointed in you all over again. Like, no, I'm glad she let him go. Wasn't cute enough. Girl, Issa, throw him to the curb. He had too much baggage with him just for y'all to be fool-la-la together. Like, no. Like, I'm glad. And then the episode just ends, y'all. Like, that was it. By the time it was warming up, I swear it was over. I'm like, good thing I was a little buzzed because that made the episode a little more worth watching, because some of me would have been asleep. But thank you again for tuning in. Hopefully next week will be better. Like, I want to know why Molly is lying to Issa about this. I want to know if Molly and if Lawrence and Issa are going to become closer friends. What's going on with that? Because now they're calling and texting each other. Like, although it's casual, I just want to know what's up with all of that. Do you guys like Condola? I really like Condola. So let's just see the rest of these stories unfold. Hope, like I said before, I hope next week is better. But thank you for tuning into my review. Like, comment, subscribe. And thank you guys for just tuning in to watch my video. I really appreciate it. Like, this is something I always wanted to do. So it's just nice seeing that people actually want to hear what I have to say. But yes, so thank you and have a good night.